A little over 24 hours ago, Alex claimed that Golden State will not lose at home. Well, game one was played last night,
Tough.
and we're about to find out whether or not he was right
Tough.
so far or whether or not he was wrong. Welcome to the Ring Chasers podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Jake. His name is Alex.
Yeah.
And
I don't like my prediction
Game
anymore.
one was played last night in Golden State, and we're going to recap it for you. How you doing today, Big Fuzz?
You know, I would be doing a lot better with a different outcome in this game coming up here.
Hey, no spoilies, man.
Too bad.
Too bad. All right, you want to get right into it?
I think you could get this one.
You want me to get it? I can get
You
it.
start off.
All right. We head into Golden State, the Bay Area, for game number one of the 2022 NBA Finals. We got the Warriors. We got the Celtics. Celtics take game number one. Alex was wrong. 120-108. The Celtics win. A little bit injury news. Gary Payton still does not play. He was questionable for this game.
That's the reason for the loss.
But
No
does
other
not
reason.
play in this game. Do you know any updates about game two?
He was a game time decision for game one, so my guess is he'd be the same for
Same
game
thing.
two.
Yeah.
And they're happy about his progress, so
Yeah.
you know I think he's hopeful.
For this game though,
It was good to see Otto Porter back though.
it was good to see him. For this game, I mean, it stayed close throughout the first half, and then Golden State got up 12 heading into the fourth quarter. But then this is the kicker: Boston then outscored Golden State 40-16 in the fourth quarter.
You know we don't talk about that.
Through multiple runs, a 9-0 run and a 17-0 run later in the quarter.
Yeah, that's tough.
That is not a finals performance you would like to see. Celtics,
Especially,
Celtics,
they
Celtics.
played good the whole game, and then they just
then they just didn't.
choked. I mean,
They
Steph
just
had
didn't.
Steph had a
Steph had a-
21 point first quarter with 6 threes.
Damn.
That's the most threes in the finals history in a quarter. And
Yeah.
broke. And guess whose record he broke?
His
own.
In the game, the Celtics shot 6% better from the field and 9% better from three, while having more assists than Golden State. Rebounds were actually exactly the same,
That's rare.
and Golden State only had one more turnover than Boston. So I mean, similar in some of those stats, but Boston did shoot a little bit better. For the Celtics this game, Tatum really struggled.
Oh, yeah.
12 points on 3 of 17.
Higgins, Wiggins, of Andrew.
But
His defense.
He did provide other ways though. He had
Yeah.
13 assists and only 2 turnovers. Al Horford, is this right? 26 points and 6 3-pointers.
You ain't Steph Curry, baby.
Oh my god. Go off. He was shooting that thing. I mean, Al Horford looking like he's back in the ATL, man. Marcus Smart had 18, and Jaylen Brown also had 24 on just under 50% shooting and 4 turnovers. Derek White, how good has he been these playoffs?
He's been really solid. Like he was a really good player in San Antonio, but then when he got traded to Boston, he took a little more of a backseat, and his numbers went down quite a bit. But he's been picking them up again in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, you go from kind of a smaller fan base team of San Antonio to
And being a top 3 option kind of thing.
yeah, and you go over to Boston
And
where you're
off the bench,
off
like
the
8th,
bench.
9th option.
But he's really stepped up. He's got big minutes these playoffs, especially in the conference finals.
He's a good player.
Last night, he had 21 off the bench along with 5 3-pointers. That was kind of all the scoring that the Celtics got. You mentioned for the Warriors, Steph, 34 points, 12-25 shooting with 6 threes in the first quarter, as you said. He went off. He was shooting that thing, man. Oh my God, Steph did Steph things.
Yeah, it was. Some would say it was effortless.
He made it look effortless.
Although his second half wasn't great. He had 1 3 in the last 3 quarters of the game. Yeah, he finished with 7 threes, had 6 in the first quarter.
That'll do it.
Yeah, he shot. He was shooting like 70% with 21 6 threes in the first quarter, but I mean, he finished the game shooting like around 50%. I think a little bit under.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little tough. And
Yeah.
he had 13 points in the rest of the game, which it's not great.
It's not great, especially from your number one option.
Yeah, and I mean another guy that really played good and then stopped was Wiggins. I'm pretty sure he had 20 going into the second half.
Oof.
Or like halfway through the third or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not like he shot bad. He just kind of stopped shooting the ball.
Yeah, but he also had to deal with defending
I mean,
Jason Tatum.
My guess is guarding Tatum as well as he did this game.
That takes a lot of
That
effort.
took a lot of his energy away, and I think doing it through 3 quarters, you probably start getting tired.
Um, and then also for Golden State, Clay, a tough night for him. 14 points on 6 of 14 shooting.
Yeah, it wasn't great shooting for him.
Struggled. Another guy who did not shoot well.
As I said in my series preview, for Golden State to do well this series, they need Clay to be efficient, and he wasn't tonight.
He was not efficient. And
you need the other guys to step up. Steph has an amazing first quarter and struggles the rest of the game.
Nobody else
You
really.
need the other guys to step up. Like Jordan
Nobody
Poole barely did anything. He took 7 shots. He was 2 of 7 with 9 points. From your backup guard, who everyone is saying is the next Steph or the third Splash Bro, whatever they're saying, you need him to do more.
You need to take more shots than that at least.
Another guy that was back in the rotation today that played actually really well when he played. He didn't play a ton of minutes, but Iguodala.
Iggy was back today?
Yeah, last night. Yeah, he
Or
had
last night, yeah.
I think he was either 7 or 9 points, but he had a couple. He had a 3 or 2, and he was. I mean, it's his leadership out there.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget that guy's back in the Warriors. I always think of him as like Udonis Haslam.
Oh yeah,
Averages 16 claps a game.
But he plays.
But yeah, but Iggy actually plays,
I don't know.
and he doesn't play horribly, man.
He's not horrible. There are other guys I think they should play more. I would rather play Jonathan Kuminga, but I understand first game in the finals, you play the guy with more leadership.
You play the guy that has a Finals MVP underneath him.
Yeah, well, I could rant about why Steph deserved that one all day. I mean, he got the Finals MVP for guarding LeBron, but LeBron averaged 36 a game. But that's a conversation for another day.
Another guy for the Warriors who did not shoot well, Draymond Green, 4 points on 2 of 12 shooting from the field, and he took 4 3-pointers and missed all of them.
I mean, yeah.
He had 11 rebounds, 5
It's
assists,
Draymond
2
Green.
steals, but I mean, since when does Draymond take 12 shots, especially when he's not shooting well?
Yeah, I think
And
got
4
it
3-pointers.
reminds me of the play-in against Memphis last year where they needed buckets. No one else was shooting. So Draymond was forcing it, trying to do whatever he can to get a bucket.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I always see Draymond as a guy to help his teammates go
Yeah,
get buckets.
But I'm saying when he's passing to his teammates and they're not shooting or Boston's swarming them the second they catch the ball, and if they're leaving Draymond low open, he will he needs to take the shot if he's wide open.
Yeah, he will take the shot.
To be honest, I do think his 3-ball is underrated. Everyone clowns him for being like a horrible shooter, but I mean, he probably shoots like 30%.
Yeah,
Which it's not great.
Not great,
it's not
but
great,
it's not
but
horrible.
it's people like talk about his shooting the same way they talk about like Simmons. Like Simmons just doesn't shoot. When he does, it's not pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Golden State's going to need to bounce back in game 2.
Yeah, they
Definitely
will.
don't want to lose both at home. Then
mean,
you're really in the depths.
Otto Porter's 12 off the bench coming back from the injury. It was actually really good to see him out there. I mean, he's back for the first time since game 3 of the Dallas series.
Yeah, he
When he
looked
limped off the floor, but I mean, he played really good for a little while,
looked-
but he didn't score in the fourth quarter, which that might be, I don't know, jitters. Maybe I think it's his first finals appearance, but it could also be just he's coming back from an injury for the first time in like a week or two.
Yeah.
He could be getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah,
but,
you got to get
I
back
mean,
into the swing of
he
things.
had a solid 12 points. It was pretty efficient, so it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, moving on to game 2, unless you got anything else you want to say about game 1.
No, I think that wraps up game 1. I kind of want to skim past this one before before I get in my feels again.
Your first wrong prediction of the finals.
Before I get in my feels again.
For game 2, I mean, I saw a stat. It was under Steve Kerr in the playoffs. Golden State is 21-2, I believe, following game 1 under
Wow.
Steve Kerr in the playoffs.
Wow.
So, I mean, you like that stat, but you
Also,
can't.
if you look at every other series this year, every time they've lost a game, they came back the next game and fixed that.
Yeah, well, I mean, so is Boston, though. Boston has not lost
Yeah, fair enough.
back-to-back in these playoffs. I don't know if Golden State has. I doubt it.
No, they haven't. They lost.
I doubt it because they haven't
lost-
really gone
I
deep
think,
in
I
series.
think they went 5 in every. Did they go 5 in every series?
They went
or-
6 against Memphis.
Yeah, but those weren't back to back.
No, they were not.
One
So, I
was
mean,
with Jaw, the one was the second game without Jaw.
yeah, so, I mean, you look at Golden State, what do you want to see from them going into game 2?
To be honest, I just need to see more guys shooting the ball and shooting it well. I think, I mean, you need your other guys playing good defense. You need Clay to play. I think you need Clay or like hopefully Gary Payton's back and he can help with that. But Draymond, I mean, Draymond did a pretty good job on like in the paint, but I mean, Horford had 6 threes. He needs to be out there on those guys. I mean, I think Wiggins did an amazing job on Tatum, but that's not gonna happen every game. You're not gonna hold Jason Tatum to 12 points a game. That's just not gonna happen. But I think you got to keep Wiggins and Tatum. It's kind of the no-brainer. Wiggins is the best on-ball defender on the team, I feel.
Yeah.
Draymond is the better defender overall, just leadership-wise and all over. But Wiggins is definitely the best on-ball defender they have, and I think you have to keep him on Jason Tatum. But like watching that game yesterday, Tatum, a lot of his misses were wide open threes.
Yeah.
Like wide open threes.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Tatum.
I feel like a lot of times someone would go to the hoop and Wiggins would help off and it would leave Tatum wide open, which more often than not that results in a three.
He's
but
gonna hit
last night he was bricking.
I mean, we talked in our preview about not just Clay, but other guys like Tatum or
Yeah.
Brown. Brown's actually pretty efficient, but guys like Tatum are smart, especially
Yeah.
being more efficient in this series. I mean, you see Tatum 3 of 17.
Tatum and then Clay was 6 of 14. Like you
You
need better.
need better. I mean, Tatum's your guy.
Yeah.
You need him to be going out at least 20 plus a night. This was an anomaly. You're not going to win more games with Tatum only
Yeah.
having 12 points. And we've seen in previous series he's had that one bad game, but it's never been
yeah.
the first game. It's been in the middle of the series. So I'm curious to see how he bounces back from this game.
I think a
and-
big thing also is Steph had his amazing start to the game but finished slow. I think for them to win, it almost needs to be the opposite. You need to get the other guys going at the start of the game, and then if Steph gets it kicking in the third, fourth quarter, that's like amazing.
Yeah, you need
Because
I-
at the
like,
end of
you
that,
like your
at the end
star-
of the game there, they went on. They like you were saying earlier, it was just run after run for Boston. You need Steph, preferably, because he is literally just a run silencer. Or even you need Clay to get going or something like that. You just need someone to go out there. And
you need your guy
yeah.
to be able to get going in the fourth to put away the game. Like you're up 12 going in the fourth quarter. Like this is some like Minnesota Timberwolves stuff.
With the great thing with Golden State though, is the guy doesn't always have to be Steph.
That's true.
You
But
could have Jordan Poole take off, like you saw in Game 3 of the Dallas series. You have Wiggins take off. You could have Jordan Poole take off, as you saw in the Denver series. Like you could just
But
have any of your
this
guys
is
take
this
off.
is the NBA Finals. This
You
is
need
not
It's the biggest of stages.
this is not the first round.
It's Stephen Curry, the guy. I mean, this team has a lot of guys that have been here before, and they need those guys to play like they've been here before.
And everybody's saying, "Oh, Steph got to get his Finals MVP." Well, I
doesn't
get
care
34 points is a good showing, but you talk about how many you have in first quarter, like 20,
21.
21 in the first quarter. You got to be able to be more consistent late in the game. I don't care about the second quarter, but you late third quarter, early fourth quarter, just to put that game away and to stop that 9-0, even the 9-0 run, because that 9-0 run was
Yeah.
like at the start of the quarter.
No matter how good you play the first three quarters, you need to at least be okay in the fourth quarter. Which Steph Curry, he did not play well in the last three quarters of the game. He went scoreless in the second quarter.
Yeah, Golden State. I mean, they were bad in the fourth quarter.
They were
16
horrible. They
points.
couldn't get a shot and they couldn't get a stop.
You're talking about a top offense in the league, and they're only scoring 16 points in the last quarter of the game when you're up.
I know.
And you're thinking finals game 1 at home, okay, let's go, let's feast. We're up 12, let's make it 15-16 and put this thing away. But no, Celtics had a change of mind and they got after it, and they proved to be the victorious in this fight.
It was tough. I was watching that first quarter. I'm like, oh, it's about to be one of those nights for Steph. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I was keeping up with the game the whole night, and I just at one point I left the room for a couple minutes. I looked at my phone. I'm like, okay, it's a tie game right here. I look at my phone again. Oh my God, they're down 8. They're down 5. They're down 8. They're down 10.
They're down 15.
It's crazy.
And okay, so we've talked a lot about Golden State. I didn't get to watch this game. Did you see anything from Boston that you liked or didn't like? I mean, I saw a bunch of clips of their defense really swarming Golden State, like right past half court, really swarming them.
I mean, that's what you gotta do with
and
Golden
them
State.
struggling
Steph
to-
who could pull from anywhere in front of half court.
Yeah, and what they were able to do is they were able to slow down Golden State's ball movement. You look,
Yeah.
Boston 9 more assists. Golden State's a team that loves ball movement.
Oh, yeah.
They're really They're really. You can't give me that look, man. You can't give me that look. They're like they love to swing it, and they love to pass around until you've got that open guy for the wide open three or the open drive into the paint, and you know. And that's what Boston was able to neutralize with their swarming defensively, and their ability to rotate back, and that's why I like Boston in this series, because their defense is just so good, and defense wins championships.
To be honest, I was watching this game, and one thing I really did notice, it's nothing necessarily for either team. It was physical down low. There were a lot of calls that just didn't happen. Like, there was a play where where Steph went up for underhand layup, and Al Horford. It was watching the replay. It was pretty obvious he hit his arm down, no call, but luckily Looney got the rebound. He got fouled, so they got the 2 shots eventually. Later in the game, Draymond went up to contest Al Horford. Al Horford, his elbow went into Draymond's face. Both players thought there was a foul. It was a no call.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
both players were on the ground after the shot. Both were complaining for their case, and it wasn't a foul. And that happened quite a bit in this game. And I think like Boston, they are a bigger team. I think like even Tatum, he's like 6'9", 6'10". I mean, he has Wiggins on, which is it's a really hard matchup for him. But I think I think run the pick and pop with like Al Horford. Like,
when I was watching the Miami series, it was obvious how physical both teams. I mean, Miami was being physical, but Boston,
I think the amount of injuries in that series shows that.
Yeah, Boston was really I don't want to not push. I can't think of the word, but like they weren't letting guys get easy layups at the bucket. It was always contact, and I mean, I guess that is part of their defensive scheme. Don't let any easy buckets, but yeah, I was able to see a lot of those hard fouls, and even some no calls. Whatever, it's the playoffs. Let them play on. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The biggest thing I noticed in the game was actually, I was thinking it and I saw it. I heard the people talking about it in the halftime show. Stephen A. brought it up. He was saying that Steph has 21 in the first quarter, but he goes scoreless in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum has 8 points in the first half. You're still only up 2. If you have Jason Tatum having that kind of night, you need to be up more than 2. You need to play better defense on the other guys.
Yeah, and that's what you see. You see Al Horford going off.
Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart,
Derek White. Like, that's what Golden State didn't have, and we'd already touched on this.
Yeah.
But, like, you see guys like Poole only taking 7 shots. Wiggins stopped shooting in the second half.
Yeah.
Curry didn't have a great
He didn't even shoot that much
3 quarters. Curry really only had that good first quarter.
Yeah.
And, you see Jaylen Brown, 24. I mean, that's what you're going to expect from him. You see Marcus Smart, 18. He shot the ball well.
He's had a really good playoff scoring-wise.
He has been. He's been like 16, 18 points per game.
Yeah, I think that's up quite a bit from the regular
season. And he's been dishing too. And he's really melted into that point guard role for Boston.
These two teams, I think, especially show what players need to do in the playoffs. Because you see Wiggs, Clay, Poole, even Tatum and Smart, their numbers are up a lot from the regular season. But then you see guys like Steph, his points per game, I think, are down a little bit.
Yeah, and same with Tatum. Has been down a little bit.
When you have the rest of him and Tatum both, they are down a little bit, but the rest of the team is playing better, and their playmaking and I don't know about Tatum, but I know for sure Curry's turnovers are down in the playoffs. Like, Curry's not necessarily scoring more, but he's getting the whole team playing well. I think that's one of the things that Warriors have done so well in this dynasty. Is Steph and Draymond are amazing leaders. They do not care about their numbers.
Yeah, I think you said this yesterday.
Yeah.
Steph is the most unselfish superstars in the league.
I think ever.
Ever, even.
He's one of, That's another thing that, it's a little off topic, but going on the unselfish stars. This is another thing you saw with Steve Nash. I think his play style to Steph Curry at times is very similar, and you see that because Steph Curry said he always wanted to be like Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Those were the two guys he looked up to.
Yeah.
But Steve Nash was a really good shooter, but he didn't shoot the ball much.
I mean, that's also how point guards were used back in the day, though. point guards didn't get shots how, like a point guard in the early 2000s is different than a point guard today.
When Steve Nash was one of the first years he left Dallas and went back to Phoenix, in the I think they were playing in the playoffs one year, and Dallas said, "Okay, our game plan is to take away Steve Nash's assists because before in the whole season he's like a 16, 17 point per game player with like 12 assists or whatever.
Yeah.
He'll hurt the team. He'll hurt the other team. He'll like damage the other team more with passing than scoring.
Yeah.
They said let's take his passing away, so they focused on that. Steve Nash had 46 that game. It's like everywhere. Everything I see about Steve Nash is he could have been one of like the greatest scoring guards ever, like point guards ever.
But that's not his play style.
That's not what would have benefited the team. That would have made him look like a lot of guys in that era, like the T-Macs, where they score a lot but they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing, not throwing shit at T-Mac or anything. He was a great player, but he didn't do anything like winning wise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's the same thing I see with Steph Curry. He's like, yeah, you could see Steph Curry. He'll go for 62 points or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that will result in a win most of the time. But I think last year showed it for sure. Like he averaged like 32 a game, but
they weren't winning. But that's also different because Steph was playing with a bunch of towel boys and water boys. Like, come on, let's be honest here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like. Also this year, like, he's had a lot of really big games where they've lost, but then he's also had some quieter games. Like, Game 5 of Dallas series, he had 15 points and they won.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot great, but he did everything else well. That's one thing that's like, I think this Warriors dynasty. That's the reason they're a dynasty. You trust even when Kevin Durant was there, they didn't. All of them didn't have to be the guy every night. They could let the ball go to someone else. One play, I think, like this is a little off topic from the series, a little bit.
We're going on a tangent here.
But it's saying like it's talking about why these Warriors are where they are today. And I think it's the same thing with Boston. To be honest, I see Tatum being really unselfish as well.
I mean, this is why both of these teams are in the finals.
Yeah.
They've played, like, you look at the conference finals, the Celtics, way more contribution from their others than Miami. I know Miami had some injuries. Tyler Hero didn't play the last 4 games. And then you go to Dallas, a team where on their run, they'd been getting points from everybody every other game. And Golden State said, nah, that's not going to happen. Yeah. And that's how they won that series. So you look at these are both teams that get contributions from everywhere in the lineup, and that's what's helped them succeed.
To be honest, I think one of the biggest things with Boston this playoff is a lot of the games they've won has been coming back from down 10.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen a lot in this playoff.
Yeah, they've had a lot of comebacks, and they've also had a lot of blowouts, though, too.
Yeah, even look at this game. It's not really a blowout, but it's a 12-point win after being down 12.
Yeah.
Like, they're. I think the biggest thing to stop Boston is you need to stop their runs, and for Boston, you just need to keep going on those runs.
Exactly.
Which I hope they don't.
But I mean, I think that's it. I think I cannot see the Warriors losing this game too. It's too big of a loss because
you can't lose both at home.
If you lose both at home, you're
then you're forced.
in deep waters.
Then you gotta win both away.
Yeah,
that's tough.
And that's tough. But
hopefully they can snag one in Boston.
Yeah, we got. I think game 2's on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
So we'll have a recap coming for you guys on Monday.
Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, I believe. So we'll be able to get 2 podcasts out next week.
Yeah, we'll have a pod out for you guys.
Tuesday, Thursday, maybe.
No, Monday, Thursday.
Oh, right, Monday, Thursday. Yeah.
Monday, Thursday. Yeah, because game 2 Sunday, we'll have it Monday, and then we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. That's gonna sign us off for today.
Perfect.
Peace out.
Peace.